Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when we find ourselves questioning everything. We wonder why certain doors remain closed, why the wait seems endless, or why our efforts don't immediately bear fruit. It's during these seasons of uncertainty that we're invited into one of the most powerful acts of faith, trusting God's timing. It's not always easy. In fact, it rarely is. But when we learn to surrender to the rhythm of divine timing, we begin to walk in peace, purpose, and confidence. Let's explore 5 truths that help us trust His plan even when we can't see the full picture. Number 1. Delay is not denial. When we face delays in life, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that we've been denied. Our minds begin to spiral into doubt, fear, and frustration. We start to believe that our dreams aren't valid, our prayers aren't being heard, or that somehow we've missed our opportunity. But the truth is, a delay is not a denial. It is often a strategic pause, a divine holding pattern, orchestrated not to punish us, but to position us for something better than we can currently imagine. We live in a world that celebrates speed. We want things now, instant results, instant feedback, instant success. And when life doesn't move at that pace, we assume something's wrong. We ask questions like, why is this taking so long? Or why them and not me? But the reality is that sometimes the best things in life require waiting. Just like a masterpiece takes time to create, or a seed takes time to grow into a fruitful tree, our purpose and destiny unfold in stages. The delay is not a punishment, it is preparation. Think about it. If everything came to you the moment you asked for it, would you truly appreciate it? Would you even be ready to handle it? Many times the delay is there to shape you, to strengthen your character, to build your resilience, and to deepen your faith. It's in those seasons of waiting that you learn patience, develop endurance, and become the kind of person who can carry the weight of the blessing you're asking for. Sometimes the gift isn't ready, but more often, it's that you're not ready yet. And that's okay. Growth takes time, and becoming who you're meant to be doesn't happen overnight. There's also another powerful truth hidden in delays. They often protect us. What if what you're praying for isn't as good for you right now as you think it is? What if rushing into something too soon could actually do more harm than good? A delay can be God's way of shielding you from a path that might look right on the surface, but carries unseen consequences. Sometimes we want things that are not aligned with our future. And in His love, God steps in and slows us down, not to frustrate us, but to protect us. And let's not forget, delay can be a redirection. There are times when we have our hearts set on a specific outcome, a particular dream, or a certain path, but the delay is God's way of gently moving us towards something even greater. Just because the door you wanted didn't open doesn't mean a better one isn't just around the corner. It takes trust and patience to see that what feels like rejection may actually be redirection to something far more aligned with your purpose and your peace. We can also learn something important by looking back. Think about the things you once wanted desperately but didn't receive at the time. Maybe you cried over them, felt disappointed or even bitter. But now, with the wisdom of hindsight, you can see why it didn't happen. Then maybe it wasn't right. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe you weren't ready. That same perspective can help you endure your current delays. You don't have the full view yet, but one day it will make sense. It's during the waiting that trust becomes real. Anyone can believe when everything is going their way. But it's when things are silent, when the doors are closed, and when the clock seems to be ticking without progress, that faith is tested. Can you still believe in the vision even when you don't see the evidence? Can you still hold on to hope even when nothing seems to be moving? That kind of trust, that deep, quiet confidence, is what sustains you through the valleys and ultimately leads you to the mountaintop. Delay is not a signal to give up. It's a signal to dig deeper into faith, deeper into self-awareness, and deeper into the process. It's a time to learn, to grow, to refine your vision, and to become the person who's not just chasing the dream, but truly ready for it when it arrives. So if you're in a season of waiting, hold your head high. You are not being denied. You are being developed, prepared, and protected. Keep showing up, keep believing, keep moving forward even if the steps feel small. Every delay has a purpose, and every moment of waiting is a part of the plan. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Trust that your time is coming, and when it does, you'll look back and be grateful for the delay, not because it was easy, but because it led you exactly where you were meant to be. Number 2. His plan is greater than our own. There are times in life when we hold tightly to our own plans. We set goals, map out every step, and build expectations around how things should unfold. It's natural we want clarity, control, and a sense of direction. But often, life has a way of reminding us that things don't always go as planned. Doors close, paths shift, people change, and in those moments, we're faced with a truth that can be both humbling and liberating. His plan is greater than our own. It's difficult to let go of what we thought would be. Maybe you envisioned a career path, a relationship, or a life chapter turning out a certain way. Maybe you worked hard, made all the right moves, and still ended up somewhere you didn't expect. That's when the questions come. Why didn't it work out? What did I do wrong? Why would God allow this? But what if the very thing you see as a disappointment is part of a bigger plan, one that you simply can't see yet? Our plans are limited by our perspective. We see only what's in front of us, the next step, the next decision, the next opportunity. But God sees the entire picture, past, present, and future. He sees how everything connects, how each detour leads to growth, and how even pain can serve a higher purpose. What we see as a dead end, He sees as a redirection. What we see as failure, He sees as the soil in which something new will grow. His plan is not just about immediate success or comfort, it's about shaping us into who we are meant to be and leading us into a life of deeper meaning. There's a peace that comes when we learn to release our grip and trust that higher wisdom is at work. It doesn't mean we stop trying or stop dreaming, it means we stay open. It means we understand that when our plans fall apart, it's not the end of the story. It's a transition into something more aligned with who we're becoming. When we trust His plan, we stop forcing things to happen our way and begin allowing things to unfold in a better way. Often, what we want is immediate relief, instant answers, or visible progress. But God's timing doesn't always work that way. Sometimes His plan involves waiting. Sometimes it involves loss. Sometimes it involves walking through seasons of uncertainty. But even in those times, He's working. He's aligning people, preparing opportunities, and molding your heart. It's not wasted time, it's preparation, it's positioning, it's part of a design you can't fully understand yet. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn is that detours are not always disasters. That closed door you're grieving over might be the very thing that saved you from something far less than what you deserve. That delay you're frustrated with might be the buffer you need to mature emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. That missed opportunity might be the space in which a greater opportunity is about to enter. His plan often doesn't make sense in the moment, but looking back, it becomes clear. Think about the times when you didn't get what you wanted and later, you were thankful. At the time, it felt like rejection, but in hindsight, it was protection. It was God saying, "Not this way, I have something better." His plan is rooted in love, not convenience. It's built on purpose, not speed. It leads to growth, not just comfort. And the more we surrender to that truth, the more peace we'll carry in the midst of uncertainty. Letting go of our plans doesn't mean we stop having vision. It means we align our vision with a greater purpose. It means we learn to pray not just for what we want, but for what is truly right. It means trusting that even when we don't understand the process, the outcome will be for our good. When you live with that kind of faith, you stop chasing what doesn't belong to you and start embracing what's meant for you. So if life isn't going according to your script right now, take a deep breath. That's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're being invited into a higher plan, one that may challenge you, stretch you, and even break you open at times, but will ultimately lead you to something far richer, deeper, and more fulfilling than you could have written for yourself. His plan is greater than your own. It may not always be the easiest path, but it will be the one that shapes your character, builds your strength, and brings you to the place where you are truly meant to be. Keep trusting, keep showing up. The story isn't over, and the author knows exactly what he's doing. Number 3, growth happens in the waiting. Waiting is one of the most challenging seasons we face in life. It can feel like a pause, a standstill, or even a punishment. When we've put in the effort, said the prayers, done the right things, and still don't see progress, it's natural to feel frustrated or discouraged. But what if the waiting isn't wasted? What if the stillness is sacred? The truth is, growth happens in the waiting, not in the rush, not in the instant breakthroughs, but in the quiet, unseen moments where time seems to stand still. Waiting strips away distractions. It forces us to confront ourselves, our desires, our motivations. It reveals what we truly believe, not just about our goals, but about ourselves, about life, and about what we're trusting in. In a world that values speed and constant movement, waiting teaches us patience. And patience isn't weakness, it's strength under control. It's the ability to hold on, to endure, and to stay grounded when everything around us says we should give up. In the waiting, we often find clarity. When the noise quiets down and the rush slows, we start to hear what we were missing before. We gain insight, perspective, and understanding. We see the flaws in our plans, the gaps in our preparation, the areas where we still need to grow. And most importantly, we reconnect with purpose. Sometimes we're so focused on the outcome that we forget the reason we started. Waiting brings us back to that deeper why, the heart behind the goal, not just the goal itself. This season of waiting can feel invisible to others. There are no trophies for waiting well, no applause for being patient. But that's where the real work is done. Like a seed in the soil, the most important growth is often the kind no one sees. Roots are being formed, foundations are being strengthened. The person you are becoming in the waiting is someone who can handle the weight of the future you're praying for. Because if the blessing comes too soon, it can crush you instead of lift you. The waiting is building the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience you'll need when the door finally opens. We grow in confidence when we wait and still believe. It's easy to have faith when things are going our way. But when we trust in the silence, when we stay hopeful in the uncertainty, we become stronger. That kind of faith isn't shallow, it's deep and unshakable. It teaches us to rely not on circumstances, but on inner strength. It shapes our character in ways nothing else can. The version of you that steps out of the waiting will not be the same as the one who entered. You'll be wiser, you'll be tougher, you'll be more grateful. You'll value things differently, not by how quickly they come, but by how much you grew in the process of reaching them. Waiting also teaches surrender. There are things in life we can't control, no matter how hard we try. And in those moments, we learn to let go. We learn to release our timelines, our expectations, and our demands. We begin to say, I may not understand this now, but I trust that something greater is unfolding. That surrender is not giving up, it's giving in to a process that's bigger than you. It's trusting that there's a purpose in the pause, even if it doesn't make sense yet. It's also in the waiting that creativity is born. When we're forced to slow down, we start to think differently. We begin to explore new ideas, new paths, new ways of being. We become more resourceful, more reflective. We stop running from discomfort and start leaning into it. That discomfort becomes a classroom teaching us lessons we couldn't have learned any other way. The stillness makes space for inspiration. The quiet opens the door to new perspectives. Growth is happening, even when you can't see it on the surface. There will be moments when you're tempted to walk away from the dream, the process, even from yourself. But stay, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Every day you choose patience, you're becoming stronger. Every time you choose hope, you're building resilience. Every moment you choose faith, even when nothing is changing, you're becoming the kind of person who can not only receive the blessing but carry it with grace. So don't despise the waiting. Don't rush through it or wish it away. Embrace it. Let it shape you, stretch you, and prepare you. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that what felt like a delay was actually the foundation. What felt like a pause was preparation. What felt like an obstacle was an opportunity for growth, The waiting may not be easy, but it is never empty. Something beautiful is being built in the silence, and that something is you. Number 4. Trust requires surrender. Trust is one of the most powerful forces in life, but it is also one of the most difficult to fully embrace. We often say we trust in life, in others, in a higher power, but when uncertainty hits, when plans fall apart, or when the future seems unclear, our trust is truly tested. That's when we learn that real trust is not about having all the answers. It's not about being in control. It's about surrender, and surrender, though it may sound passive or weak, is actually one of the most courageous choices a person can make. To surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go. Letting go of the need to control outcomes, to predict every step, or to force life to go the way we imagined. It means releasing the fear that if we don't make everything happen ourselves, it won't happen at all. It's choosing to believe that even if we don't understand the how or the when, there's a purpose in the process and a greater wisdom guiding the journey. This kind of surrender is difficult because it challenges our pride. It goes against everything society teaches us about hustle, control, and self-sufficiency. We're taught that we must always be strong, always have a plan, and never show vulnerability. But trust requires the opposite. It asks us to be open, to admit we don't have it all figured out, and to lean into something beyond ourselves. And that is where growth begins. Surrender doesn't mean you stop dreaming or working. It doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. In fact, surrender often involves more intentional action, but it comes from a place of peace, not pressure. It means you do your part, but you don't carry the burden of trying to control everything that's outside your power. You let go of the outcome, and you trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. That kind of mindset frees you from anxiety and allows you to live with clarity and focus. One of the most beautiful things about surrender is that it creates space for wisdom, for insight, and for divine timing to unfold. When we cling too tightly to our own version of how life should go, we often miss the better path that's being presented. Surrender allows us to remain flexible, to be open to change, and to follow unexpected directions that may lead to even greater blessings. It's the ability to say, even if this doesn't happen the way I planned, I trust that it will happen the way it's supposed to. There is a deep inner strength that comes from surrender. It teaches you to be still in the chaos, to be calm in the unknown, and to have peace even when nothing around you is making sense. You stop chasing certainty, and you start embracing the mystery. You stop trying to force outcomes, and you start aligning with purpose. That doesn't mean everything becomes easy, but it does mean you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient with each passing day. Surrender also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers, and we don't need to. There is wisdom in not knowing. There is strength in admitting that we can't do it all on our own. And when we reach that place, when we stop striving and start trusting, we often find that things begin to unfold more smoothly, more naturally, and more powerfully than we could have orchestrated ourselves. It's important to remember that surrender is a daily choice. It's not a one-time decision, but a continual process. Every morning you wake up and choose to trust again. Every time fear whispers that you're behind or that things won't work out, you choose to let go again. Every time you're tempted to control or rush, you choose patience again. And with each choice, trust grows deeper. Your heart becomes lighter. Your path becomes clearer. Trusting through surrender means living with your hands open instead of clenched fists. It means allowing life to move you instead of resisting its flow. It means embracing change, even when it's uncomfortable, and believing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because in surrender, we find peace. In surrender, we discover who we truly are. And in surrender, we open ourselves to the fullness of life and the beauty of a plan greater than our own. So if you're in a place right now where things feel uncertain or out of your control, take a breath. Loosen your grip. Let go of the pressure to figure everything out. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust the plan, and most of all, trust that by surrendering, you are not losing control, you are gaining peace, strength, and alignment with something far more powerful than fear, faith. Number 5. His timing is always perfect. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is falling apart. The doors you've knocked on remain closed, the opportunities you've waited for seem out of reach, and the dreams you've nurtured begin to fade in the shadows of delay. In those moments, it's easy to wonder if things will ever work out. It's easy to feel forgotten, overlooked, or left behind. But in the middle of that uncertainty lies a truth that can shift your entire perspective. His timing is always perfect. It doesn't always feel perfect. In fact, it often feels frustrating. We plan, prepare, and put in the effort, expecting things to unfold according to our timeline. But life doesn't always respond to our schedule, and that can be one of the hardest lessons to learn. However, what we often perceive as a delay is really divine timing in motion. There's a bigger picture being painted, one that we can't fully see from where we're standing. And sometimes, the very thing we're waiting for is being prepared behind the scenes in ways we'll only understand later. We measure time in hours, days, months, and years, but God sees time through the lens of eternity. He sees the end from the beginning. While we are focused on what's happening now, He is aligning people, opportunities, lessons, and circumstances that will all come together in the right moment. His timing isn't based on our impatience or our pressure. It's based on His wisdom, His love, and His perfect understanding of what we truly need, not just what we want. When something doesn't happen when we expect it to, we tend to internalize it. We begin to question our worth or our abilities. But delays are not a reflection of inadequacy. They are often a sign of preparation. Sometimes we're not ready for what we're asking for. Sometimes what we desire would overwhelm us instead of bless us if it came too soon. In those cases, the delay is a gift. It's a period of growth, refinement, and preparation, so that when the moment does arrive, we're not just ready, we're capable of sustaining and thriving in it. Think of a fruit that is picked before it's ripe. It may look good on the outside, but it's not ready on the inside. It's the same with life. Timing isn't just about arrival, it's about readiness. When things come together at the right time, they not only work out, but they often exceed our expectations. We may not understand the waiting while we're in it, but hindsight almost always reveals the reason. Looking back, we often realize that what we thought was a delay was really a blessing. That closed door protected us. That missed opportunity redirected us. That waiting period strengthened us. There's also something deeply personal about God's timing. It's tailored specifically for you. He knows your personality, your struggles, your dreams, and your future. He knows the lessons you need, the healing you require, and the strength you must develop. His timing is not a one-size-fits-all plan. It's intricately woven into your life story. Every twist and turn, every pause and breakthrough serves a purpose. But trusting His timing also requires surrender. It means releasing the need to understand everything in the moment. It means choosing peace even when things feel uncertain. It means walking in faith, not by sight. And that's not always easy. It takes strength to wait. It takes courage to keep believing when there's no visible progress. But it's in those moments of quiet faith that our trust is deepened and our character is built. We live in a world of instant gratification where everything is fast and now, but spiritual growth doesn't work that way. The things that last, peace, purpose, wisdom, strength, they take time. They are formed in seasons of waiting, molded through challenges and refined by time. When you trust His timing, you're not choosing the easy path, but you are choosing the right one, the one that leads to wholeness, fulfillment, and true joy. There's freedom in trusting His timing. It frees you from anxiety. It frees you from comparison. It frees you from trying to force things that aren't meant to be. When you believe that everything will unfold exactly as it should, in the right moment, you can stop striving and start living with purpose and presence. You can focus on becoming the best version of yourself, knowing that what's meant for you will find you not a second too soon and not a moment too late. So if you're in a season of waiting, hold on. If the answers haven't come, if the doors haven't opened, if the dream feels distant, keep the faith. His timing is not off. It is not late. It is not accidental. It is perfect. And when the time is right, everything will fall into place in a way that no effort of your own could have accomplished. you'll see how every delay had a purpose, how every moment of waiting prepared you, and how His timing, though often mysterious, was always exactly what you needed. So if you find yourself in a season of waiting, uncertainty, or even frustration, take heart. You are not forgotten. You are not off track. You are in the hands of a God who loves you more deeply than you can comprehend, and who has a plan for you that far exceeds your expectations. Keep going, keep trusting, because when the time is right, nothing can stop the purpose He has for your life. God bless you.